What's going on, guys? Let's talk about the futures market. Let's talk specifically about the NQ and the disastrous day that we had today. Whether you made some money or you lost some money or you sat on your hands because you simply just did not know what to do. At one point in time, we were down 600 points in the market. We put in a daily range today of 772 points. And, you know, futures market has opened up going into the overnight session now. Currently 5:30 Pacific Standard Time here in the afternoon on the 3rd of September, and we're already down 100 points. So, you know, realistically, what are we looking at, right? We're going to have to give respect to the sellers. Okay? As of right now, we're below every single moving average that's relevant or means anything for the short term. So, we're below the 5-day moving average, the 10, the 20, the 50-day moving average, and it looks like we're a magnet all the way down here to this 150 simple moving average on a daily time frame. So as I get ready for tomorrow and I start to look at, you know, what are the possibilities, what are some of the things that can happen with the markets, one thing that I'm going to be looking for is one of two things to happen, right? So we always have to be ready for both sides of the trade. If this market continues to bleed into the overnight session, and we do come down here to this 150 simple day moving average, that's going to bring us down to a price of 18,760, 750s. Okay. If that happens, it's going to be a big gap down in the equities market. So stocks, you're going to see a bunch of stocks like Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, AMD, all those type of names. You're going to see them have a big gap down. So typically what I would do in that type of scenario would be to sit on my hands for the first 30 minutes, because typically you're going to get that trap move off the gates, and then you're going to get, you know, probably a washout, and then towards the top of the hour, and then after the first hour of trade is closed, you are then going to see a potential bounce. Okay, now if we don't get that potential bounce after the first 30 minutes to an hour, what we would be looking for is the continuation to the downside. And that continuation to the downside is going to be below 18,762. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is that we kind of just hang around this area. Okay. So into the overnight, into pre-market, we're kind of hanging around this anywhere between being down 50 and 150 points. We hold this 150-day simple moving average over 18,760s, and we open up green tomorrow. Okay, so if we hold this area and we open up green tomorrow without ever really testing this 18,750 and without ever breaking it, and we gap up tomorrow, let's say we're up 50 points, 80 points, 150 points, right, 200 points, then what I'll be looking for is the reverse reaction. I'll look for the immediate pop off the open. I will stay patient. I will wait for those early buyers who think that's it. Generational lows of a lifetime are put in. We're going higher. Wait for them to get trapped within the first 30 minutes to the hour opening candle. And then I will wait for the lows through this overnight session low. Okay, so as of right now where we stand, we're sitting at 18,872. So I'll wait for those lows if they stand to be confirmed, and if they don't, and we've put in another number that's lower, but we open up green, then I will wait for those shorts to get rejected at supply, and then I will look for that immediate short-term trade back down to the downside. Again, any confirmation through overnight lows and today's lows on the 3rd, right? Today's September the 3rd, anything through that and the overnight session lows from technically the 4th, we would be looking for that washout into 730s, 750s. And by golly, if we do start to lose those 730s, 740s, we've got a lot of room down. And this market can come down in a big way very, very quickly. We can see very violent price action. Ultimately, I'd like to see something like 18,250 get tagged if that was the scenario on that particular move. And from there, you're going to need to see buyers step in and step in a very, very big way. Because if we do lose this 200-day moving average again, not saying tomorrow, but if we lose this 200-day moving average again, it's going to go all the way back to the test lows where we kind of had this same price action. If you remember, go back to August the 2nd, we had a big down 2 days, right? 863 points red here on the first, 600 points red here on the second. And then we had this huge gap down, right? Where we were down almost 1,000 points in immediate reversal. So I'm looking at the same thing happen here. If we confirm today's lows and we start to lose a 740, 750, we could see a big move to the downside. And then you can see that big gap wash out again, you know, before the middle of this week is over. And then you could see that immediate trap and go long. If it starts to bounce from here, again, I just want to reiterate this. If it does bounce from here into tomorrow's session, look for rejections around 19,075 and 19,250. Okay. If we get rejected in those two zones and then we lose this low, that's when you're going to want to be short. To be honest, the bulls have a lot of work to do. I'm not even interested in longs where I'm going to hold for drastic moves other than a 5-point, 10-point scalp on an intraday setup until we get back over the 50-day moving average and the 20-day moving average. At least, guys, at least. Right now, the sellers are in complete control. So when sellers are in complete control, those long positions are going to be very, very tricky to find. And you might get, you know, a 20, 30, 40 point bounce, and it might only last 2 or 3 minutes. And then we're back down to the constant selling. So just be very, very careful this week. Again, this is where traders can tend to blow themselves up when, you know, we're trading in ranges of upwards of 500, 600, 700 points. Very, very drastic selling that we're seeing here. Ultimately, I do think we come lower to 18,750. And, you know, I hate to say it, for the bulls and for the long-term investor standpoint, but we could potentially be testing lows of 18,250, which again, for us traders, us scalpers, it means nothing. We can trade the market both long and short. We just have to make sure we're ready on both sides of that trade. I'll see you guys all on the trading floor tomorrow. Those of you guys who want to trade with me, that link is down in the description box below. Also, if you guys need some Apex accounts, those accounts are still 80% off. That link is also down in the description box below. And I'll see all of you guys again tomorrow.